Today I'm going to talk about my favorite nutrition research study, the Minnesota Starvation Experiment. The study was done toward the end of World War II because they knew a lot of people had undergone starvation in the war and they wanted to know the best way to refeed people. So they got volunteers. It had to be men in their 20s to 30s, and they ended up selecting 36 volunteers to take part in the study. In the beginning of the study, they lost 25% of their body weight. Then they were separated into groups to go over how to refeed. During the starvation phase, one of the things they learned is that malnutrition massively affects brain function. They had a lot of different psychological issues, including depression, withdrawal, not wanting to get out of bed, really high levels of fatigue, even psychosis. This has helped inform our current understanding of nutrition and the brain. In addition to this, we also realized that nutrition could really affect things like blood sugar and cholesterol because we saw large changes in these during the study. It wasn't until this study that we actually realized how much nutrition can have an impact on the human body. Obviously, most people are not going through a starvation phase. Different forms of malnutrition can be affecting our mental health significantly. And this is why it's really important that anyone that's dealing with a mental health condition make sure they're not having a nutritional deficiency that is causing or contributing to this. Nutrition is not going to be a cure for mental health issues, but it can really help support treatment. And there are certain things that medications cannot make up for. So for example, if you're not eating enough protein, you don't produce enough neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. And if you can't produce enough of them, your brain isn't going to function optimally. You can take medications to help increase these, but it's beneficial if you eat adequate protein and take the medications. Then you see the best outcomes. There are also other vitamins and minerals needed to both keep your brain healthy and to produce neurotransmitters and other things that signal to our body and help our body function. So if you're not getting enough of those, you're not going to feel good. Another really common one is vitamin D. So being low in vitamin D, you can have a lot of fatigue. Fatigue can also be caused by depression. But if you're depressed, staying inside, not getting a lot of sunlight, you might also not be getting enough vitamin D. And so some of the fatigue from depression might be because of vitamin D. And so this is just one example that it's really important to get assessed and make sure we're not missing this. And clinicians in general, it's really important that we are checking people with mental health conditions for deficiencies. A lot of people that have mental health conditions are not eating an optimal diet. People without mental health conditions are not eating an optimal diet. And so we need to make sure that we're not missing something and that there's not something simple we could be doing to help them. Another really good example is restless leg syndrome. It's very much tied to iron deficiency. So if someone is experiencing restless leg syndrome, we should make sure that it's not caused by iron deficiency, because if it is, we can cure it and they can feel better.